the subject is, how old would you be if you didn't know how old you are? It's a question. Now, I actually know people. Do you know anyone that has no idea how old they are? Do you have any grandparents or people from India? There are people who don't know how old they are, especially in India. They don't know who their birthday, know when their birthday is, and they have no record of a birth certificate, so they don't know their age. They know maybe about their age. And I have a very funny friend who is very profoundly great, who is a yoga teacher in Rishikesh. And I was asking him when his birthday was, and he said, well, my mother can't remember if it was January or May. And I thought, that's weird. I mean, she was a blank. She drew a blank. And so he never could really know his sign because he could look at both times and just have to guess. But most of us do know how old we are because most of us have to have a birth certificate to get a passport and to leave countries and documents that we need as we go along in life. And we can get stuck on that age. We can get stuck on whatever age it is. And our parents can get us stuck on certain ages too, like puberty, 21, 28. They all have different ideas of how one should be at that age. But yet, what is that based on? It's almost based on society's idea of, at the age of 35, you should have 2.1 children, which I never understood that 0.1, and have a secure job and be married. Say that's a prototype that you were sold into as a young child. And then you get to that certain age and you aren't that. And so sometimes people will even go further that they're a failure, that they failed in what was expected of them. And then they're left with a feeling of not being who they are. And yet, if you get a blessed enough teacher, a wise enough teacher that just says, be yourself. There's an expression I saw on a Swedish wall outside of Stockholm. It said, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. And it was so great and so refreshing. And so the question tonight is, be yourself. But then the bigger question is, but what is yourself? You can say it and it sounds all great. You'll say, oh yeah, I just want to be myself. But then you have to go into deeper to what is the self. It has nothing to do with your age, nor how you look, your gender, your status in the world. It has nothing to do with any of that. That self is with a big S. And that self is a built-in inside your soul. And then you have to say, well, what's your soul? For me, it's essence of who you really are. Beyond time and space. Beyond this body. Beyond everything that you've ever thought or been told that you are. You go past all of that. And that's who you are. Without any earthly characteristics. And that's the soul journey that we all take, whether you know it or not. That's what you're traveling within. That's what you're traveling to. That's the journey, the real journey. And so, as we journey today, you'll journey inside to a time and an experience of agelessness, that you have no identity with what you've been, what you are now, and what you'll be in the future. You will be beyond all of that. Like when people astral travel, or when you say you have an out-of-body experience, you don't discuss how old you were then. You don't discuss all the earth plane things. You're without any words. You're without any opinions, any judgments, any thoughts. Perhaps some of you have had out-of-body experiences in a car accident, in surgery, when you could look down and see yourself. Others might have been fortunate to have it just in meditation. When you become zero, when you become shunya, when you rise above time and space and you have that instance of oneness with the universe, and it has nothing to do with who you are this lifetime in this physical form. And then you can return to a place where you're not so involved in the minutia of your life. Not that you don't have to be a part of that life, because you have to pay the bills. You have to cross the street without getting hit by a car. You have to do certain things that keeps you on life's feet, on the ground. But there's so much more. And when you've been touched by that more, you just keep wanting to have that more in your life. I think that's why a lot of people go to India or go to sacred places in the world, is to feel the vibration of that which has been there for thousands of years, so you can get a touch, a feeling of the vibration that's already there. Sometimes you can't get it walking down just a busy street. However, as you go along in life, and as you're able to have that touch more and more and more, you can then get to a point that you can be anywhere. And you're in that touch. You're in that connection. And that connection has no limitations such as age, such as gender, income, country, language. Goes so much beyond that. So let's see what we can do today to take ourselves in this next couple hours beyond that. Because if you could go to that place, first of all, you know it's possible. And second of all, you can access it more easily. Okay, shall we? Is there anyone new today? Welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. Good.